Today is Wednesday, July 5th, 2023. I'm Adam Hartog. Sitting next to me is my court-appointed attorney, Thomas Frey. Sitting between us on the floor, asleep, is Kai, the star of the show. And this is episode 11 of the Breaks Down podcast, brought to you exclusively by 528 Collectibles. We have a pretty awesome show for you guys today. Let's go. Okay, recording this a little before 9 Eastern on Wednesday. We'll do some housekeeping. Domingo German threw the 24th perfect game in MLB history.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I never really thought that I would see the Yankees throw a perfect game, or any Yankee throw a perfect game, especially seeing it live was pretty amazing. It's a little bit of a weird celebration because it's always been weird supporting German, given what we know about his past with his history of domestic violence. Even as it's happening, you know that there's that cloud over everything. Even if the Yankees were to win a World Series game and German played a role, it's like something like that is always going to come back. The history of it is amazing, and now him and Higashioka, who I was very happy for, he's now the 11th catcher to catch a perfect game and a no-hitter. Which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
And it's weird.
It's a bad guy.
It's a bad guy.
By the accounts that we know, not a good guy.
Yeah, and I mean, you wish it was someone else.
Yeah, 100%.
That's really,
exactly.
that is the ultimate is it's cool and, great accomplishment, but you do wish it happened or someone else had done it.
Like if Cole threw it, this lives forever. And you see it still all over ESPN.
It couldn't have happened to a better guy in Higgy as a catcher, but you do wish someone else was pitching. That's really what it comes down to.
Very happy for Ryan Ruocco, too. He had an awesome call.
He always has the craziest games.
Yeah.
Every time
Ruocco magic.
Yeah, he's got something. I don't know, but I love Ruocco. He does a great job.
Yeah. Also, I have the contest, the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Okay.
Originally canceled. Not just postponed because of the rain yesterday.
Wow. I didn't even know this.
Yeah. Joey Chestnut at one point just walks out of the locker room, wherever they're in, solo op, talking about how, fuck this, I'm going to get the guys out. We're eating these dogs. Mm-hmm. And essentially pulled a Justin Fields when he reinvigorated the Big Ten season when it was originally canceled for COVID. And Chestnut brought the troops out. He had one of the most electric intros I've ever seen. Like the old guy in a very nice suit and a cool bowler hat. I don't think it was a fedora.
Okay.
Like you could totally tell that he was waiting all year for this because he was talking about how like only one man has been able to defy the laws of physics. And I'll show you after. Like I wish we could drop it in, but like he's going for a solid minute and a half.
Yeah.
Like, this man! And, like, it totally rivals, like, the late 90s Bulls. And when The Rock, if you smell, it was just electric. He won his 16th contest, did not break his personal record, but I love watching that every year. I was heartbroken when I thought it was going to be canceled.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy watching it. I didn't get to watch it yesterday, but I usually do. It's disgusting. It's a hard watch.
Yeah. Well, it's dogs, usually 2 at a time,
and
then
you're
they dip the buns in water.
Yeah, then you're just sucking down buns. It's disgusting.
You're drinking buns.
Yeah, it's gross. It's objectively gross, but it's...
The dogs were slow yesterday. The buns were slow.
Yeah. It's Kobiyashi and Chestnut's one of the best rivalries that no one really cares about.
Just because it hasn't happened in so long, because Kobiyashi is barred from the contest because of he's not part of Major League Eating.
But Kobiyashi live telecasting from a rooftop nearby one year, his own hot dog eating contest just by himself was pretty amazing. It's like the equivalent of him like Twitch streaming it or YouTube live streaming it is basically what he did from a rooftop nearby.
That's like a very Michael Jordan-esque move. Just the competitive nature off the charts.
Yeah, but I mean, he was pretty unreal too. He's credit to him for kind of popularizing it in any sort of way.
Yeah, went toe to toe with a bear.
I didn't actually know that. Did he win?
I think so. I haven't seen the video in a long time.
Bear doesn't have proper technique. Bear's
No,
not
the bear
dipping.
looked hungry.
Yeah, but he's not dipping that bun in any water and
He wasn't.
sucking it down.
That's true, but his mouth is also far bigger.
That's also true. That's worth
I
considering.
don't know if Kobiyashi could catch a salmon jumping out of a river.
I bet you he could if you gave him enough time.
I will give him 2 hours.
Well, he might need some time to practice.
He can have all the practice time he wants.
Okay, but once the timer starts, the timer starts. I think he could do it.
Well, we'll come back to that when he's on the show.
I think presented with a salmon in a river and the opportunity for it to jump, he's getting it.
Okay. Another thing in housekeeping, collectibles. Tonight on Drip, 528 is breaking Obsidian Select and Panini 1 2022, all football, all hobby boxes. And 528 will also be a featured vendor at the upcoming National Sports Collectors Convention in Chi-Town at the end of the month. You may be going?
I don't think I'm going, but it's up in the air. I still could decide to go.
Johnny Manziel will be there.
Yeah, confirmed. He's more committal than I am as of right now. Also, in collectible news, we hit a one-of-one Trevor Lawrence card could be worth, I think there was a bounty out on it for $50,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What, on Drip? On
No,
the talk?
I think another breaking company might have had a $50,000 bounty on it.
No, but we hit it.
Yeah, we hit it. I think it was a personal. I think we were streaming somewhere.
Was that today?
I'm not sure. No, it was 2 days ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't at the store Sunday.
Yeah, no, I think it was Sunday, and it was out of an Encore box.
Wow.
So it was pretty. Yeah, that was pretty.
That must have been out of a pack.
Yeah, out of a pack.
Okay.
Yeah, no one was.
It
wasn't a slab.
Yeah,
no, it wasn't a
No one's
slab. It
giving
was
that
out of
away.
it was out of a hobby pack, and it was, or actually, I think it might have been out of a retail blaster. But either way, yeah, it's at least a $50,000 card, knowing that there's that bounty.
Yeah.
So
We hit a pretty cool Hooker RPA, Hendon Hooker RPA today.
yeah, that's a cool one.
Out of 25.
I like him.
He's the man.
Yeah, but it's the Trevor Lawrence is definitely
The highlight.
the headliner here. Yeah, that's probably the biggest card we've ever hit.
Wow.
Yeah, bigger
Very
than the
cool.
Joe Burrow RPA.
Very cool. Soccer news, Man United signed Mason Mount. That sucks. I never thought I would see the day where he left Chelsea. He was there for 18 years. And wasn't even the longest tenured guy because Ruben Loftus-Cheek was there for 19.
Did you think his apology was not good enough? Or not his apology, his
goodbye?
his goodbye.
I you know what? I didn't expect one. It's one of those few times that I got one and I was less than thrilled, partially because it was like recorded kind of a while ago. Like his hair is a different color.
That I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
That makes it way worse that it
Way
was
worse.
pre-recorded.
Yeah, I mean, he's known he's going to leave for months at this point.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's still.
I know, I agree.
It definitely makes it worse.
Yeah, it definitely makes it worse.
The Yanks are 4-2.
No, it sucks that he's gone, though. I mean, he came up through the youth academy. He had 2 loan spells. But I remember his first season when Frank Lampard was the manager. He was the best player. He was the best player of the year after that. He had a world-class assist to Kai Havertz in the Champions League final against Man City.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to be the next captain. It's probably going to be Reece James now. He left for a big sum, and it's only because of the ownership change, which sucks. But I would have liked to see him stay. I thought he was going to be a Chelsea player forever. Bobby Firmino to Al Ali in Saudi Arabia.
So, a lot of guys going to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
I saw Sadio Mane might get sold there now, too.
That's
Bayern.
crazy.
Yeah.
He just went last year.
Mm-hmm.
Milano made an improved bid for Pulisic, just shy of Chelsea's valuation.
Yeah, I think it's happening.
Oh, me too.
He said he isn't going to Lyon,
No.
even if their offer's better, and Chelsea has no leverage. They're just trying to squeeze out every dollar they can.
Yeah, they're trying to get him. They wouldn't sell him for free, but they're gonna be happy to lose his wages off the books, which kind of sucks because he's awesome.
Yeah, but I think he needs another chance. I just think his time's up there, and they just got too many guys. They brought in too many players. I couldn't believe it every time they signed someone. at positions they were 3, 4, 5 deep already.
They didn't have enough room in the locker room. Players actually had to get dressed like in the hallway.
Yeah, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. So it's like, I'm very ready for him to leave, and I think the Italian league's good for him. It's still a top 5 league. Used to be the best league in the world. Like, still is a very important league, and AC Milan is the most important team other than Juventus and Inter.
Yeah.
Like, and Napoli's pretty good too. But it's a good move for him. Hopefully, I just hope he actually plays. You know, I'd rather a lot of our guys go to a mid-table team in a top 5 league anywhere and play than be at a top team and not play.
Aronson just got loaned out to a mid-table German team.
Which is good.
Is it better than being at one of the best teams in the championship?
Is it better? It depends on where he'll have more opportunity, honestly.
Fair. I just assumed with the clear out at Leeds that he would get a good amount of playing time, but
I agree.
I have no way to confirm that.
I agree. I honestly, it's wherever he would play the most, I think is best for him.
They may have wanted to keep him and just needed some financial cushion because they're not going to have as much of the Premier League media rights. It's a windfall, so they will still get a percentage of what they made this past season next year.
Okay.
Because otherwise that would just like bankrupt teams that got relegated.
That makes sense. I never thought about that, honestly, but that makes a lot of sense.
Weah confirmed, Tim Weah to Juventus.
Same thing. Same thing applies.
Yeah.
I just want him to play and not play wing back.
Yeah, definitely not.
I don't want that. I'm tired of that. I think Dest needs to move. Musa still wants to move. Balogun still needs a move. Who else? Tyler Adams, McKennie. I heard Dortmund they're in talks. So, I mean, honestly, I would be fine with McKennie staying at Juve and him and Weah working together. That would be cool. But
I would.
I think he's working on a transfer.
I saw that Barcelona is going to wait till after the preseason to decide what to do with Dest.
Yeah, I saw they were going to put him up against, I think, like it was a Mexican right back, like competing for playing time. At least that's what
It was the dual international that chose Mexico over the U.S., right?
Yeah. Someone with an A.
Yeah.
Araujo?
Oh, yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
I think that might be it. Which is like, I just want him to play too. He's so good.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you watch him and you're like, he's our best player.
And it's crazy because nobody has had a better right back, probably ever, that played almost that exact style than Barcelona.
Yeah.
Dani Alves and Messi was one of the best link-up combos of all time.
Yeah, and I mean, Dest is a similar, like, offensive right back, basically a wing back, you know? Like, I don't know why they don't rate him. And his defense has gotten a lot better.
It's just a manager thing. If they find somebody that will play 5 at the back like that, it would probably totally change. I mean, someone like Tuchel, he was using Reece James, who's like a way better defender, but still, just the way that they use them, the overlapping runs, it would be perfect for Dest.
Yeah, exactly. I just, again, opportunity. These guys are good. It's not like yes, we're overrating, I'm sure, all of them because they're our players, but it's
all of them.
Like, yeah, I like literally, I'm sure every single one of them we rate more highly than anyone else probably would. But they're still good.
I think it goes the other way though too. I think people everywhere else
underrate
saying,
them
like,
because they're Americans.
Think that they're being overrated no matter what.
I'm sure the truth is somewhere in the middle of us and everyone else who hates American soccer players. But it's, at the very least, they are still good players, all of the guys we're naming. And with opportunity, they can grow and get better. That's really what it comes down to.
I agree. They're all super talented.
Yeah. The most talented pool we've ever had, and it's not close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One big thing time?
Yeah. I'll start.
Cool.
Okay, so this one's a little bit in the weeds. It's not the most fun one big thing, but I think it's important, and I feel like no one's really talking about it. It's there's new proposed rule changes in the NBA being tested in summer league, and one is a flopping rule where it's essentially a technical foul and the other team gets one shot in the ball if you're deemed flopping. I think either offensive or defensive. It doesn't, from my understanding of it, I could be wrong because I didn't read too much into the actual rule itself, but it's essentially its own like special foul because it's not a technical in the sense that like two of them and you're ejected, or like if I get a regular technical and then a flopping call, I'm not ejected.
So it's like an embarrassment point.
Kind of. It's like its own separate foul that doesn't count as a personal foul. Like it's not one of my 6 fouls to give, and it's not a technical. It's not one of my 2 to give. So I don't know what it is. I don't know how many of them equals an ejection. This is kind of what I was confused about because it seems like there's a lot that needs to be ironed out. I don't know if it's a challengeable play. Like, if someone gets called for flopping, can you challenge it? I think these are all things that would need to be ironed out. I'm not sure that they're not, but from the surface of the rule that I saw, it didn't seem like it was specified. So I'm not sure that would be enacted right away. I think it's a good rule. I think it's just going to be hard to make it actionable.
It sounds to me like it's almost entirely just trying to get the PA announcers to be like, Draymond Green flopped. Like, get 20,000 people to be like, haha, we got you.
Him and Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
LeBron too. LeBron's a bad flopper.
LeBron's gotten really bad.
Yeah, LeBron is a bad flopper because his acting is horrible.
Yeah.
He's not a bad actor.
No,
in movies,
I get what you're saying.
But on the court, horrible.
Actor.
So yeah, just awful. The second rule is this rule should have existed literally from the day it was conceived, was the coach's challenge. Now, if you're right and it gets overturned, you get to keep it.
Dude.
Yeah.
The dumbest thing ever.
It makes no sense. It was keeping like a ton of plays from being overturned because coaches didn't want to challenge stuff in the first, second, third quarter. They're saving it, and then come fourth quarter they don't use it.
Obvious stuff.
Yeah, obvious stuff that had no business not being overturned. Now, this should be enacted right away.
I can't believe it was the other way around.
Apparently, I didn't remember this at the time, but something I was reading about the rule changes said initially when the challenge came out, like Doc Rivers was very adamant against it. And it's just like, why?
Yeah.
Why would you? It's getting the game more right, for lack of a better word. It's making the outcome based on what it should be, not based on the refs. Like, and also it's the same thing as like the 2-minute plays being reviewable type of deal. It's just like, it makes the game better. I don't know why Doc was so opposed to it. Either way, but like this makes way more sense. The challenge system as it is right now makes no sense at all, especially because you can't challenge within the last 2 minutes. So you're saving your challenge for the first 10 minutes of this fourth quarter. And if nothing happens then you're not
home with it.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't get to bring it with you the next day. You just have it in your closet.
Yeah.
So,
or on the shelf.
Or on a shelf.
A mantle.
Yeah, so it's just like very needed. Basically, long term, both I think will benefit the NBA. I like both rule changes. It's not something stupid like a 4-point line or a longer shot clock or something, some nonsense like that.
The ones you could vote on in 2K.
Yeah, exactly. Or like,
I'm very pro both of them. I think the first one's hysterical. Like that's gonna go. That's gonna be all over. No.
Oh.
I think the flopping call out is gonna be all over social media. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
And like that the losing your challenge, even if you're right, is gonna be one of those things that we look back on and we're just gonna be like, what the fuck?
Why did this? Yeah, like why was this
real?
This should have always been the thing. It's
like,
so
it's almost
obvious.
like baseball. We're already looking back and being like, it took us this long to like start using replay.
Yeah, exactly. And it could be that way with robot umps one day.
Yeah,
in baseball.
100%. They should absolutely. They don't have to replace them.
No, I like the system they do in the minors where I think players get one challenge per game on a strike.
Each
player.
That's
It's
cool.
one either per game or per at bat, where the ump has it in his ear where it's like, if you challenge it, it's immediate. Robot man tells you ball or strike based on the strike zone, and that's it. Like, it happens like that. Doesn't slow down the game. It could happen literally while you step out of the box.
Yeah.
You know?
That was your OBT?
Yeah, that was my one big thing. It's like I said, it wasn't the most interesting. It's just I thought both rules were worth noting, and I felt like being informative today.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to do a lot of listing for mine. So ESPN laid off a lot of workers at the end of last week. Some of them include Jeff Van Gundy, Max Kellerman, Gene Wojciechowski, Jalen Rose, Keyshawn Johnson, Susie Colbert, Steve Young, Todd McShay, Neil Everett, and David Pollock. I didn't really like David Pollock that much, so not super heartbroken on that one.
I'm upset about a few of them.
JVG?
Yes, he's number one.
Crazy to get rid of him.
I'm upset about Kellerman.
Me too.
I
Didn't get
him.
a fair shake.
No, I liked him a lot on First Take, and for a while.
I would like to see him not as part of a Disney vehicle.
Yeah, I agree. I think he could go further. And
yeah, I think he got pigeonholed in a lot of ways there.
Yeah, and I mean, Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max was just whatever.
ESPN's cutting their investment in radio quite a bit. I don't know what that means for the future of the K Show either, but obviously it seemed like Michael K has been kind of tidying his bow on that one for
a little bit,
about a year or so.
But also he's still on the K-Rod cast, so I wonder if
that's not radio though.
It's not, but it's their investment in him. So I wonder if they would just keep both and also.
Well, I don't think he wants to do it for much longer anyway. Is the vibe I get.
He's
taking like summers off.
Well, it was just last summer, and he was gone for a long time, so it got real weird.
Yeah,
because there was no real explanation. It was just really strange and caused a big scene.
Yeah, because everyone thought he got fired.
Yeah,
it was like retiring.
It was a whole weird scene. But now also with Carton off, they'll probably be number one in ratings.
We'll see. I mean, Tiki and Evan will be a good show.
It will be, but I don't know. I think Carton
It's the K Show's opportunity to claw back now for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like Carton's the big draw there, not Roberts. And
I agree.
I think
Certainly
Tiki is a draw for sure. But I don't know. I think it'll be much closer than it's been.
I agree with that, definitely.
Yeah. I think they could overtake them again. I mean, they overtook Francesa in the past, so. Yeah. And Carton Roberts at first, but once they picked up steam.
Neil Everett, I'm upset about.
Neil Everett, I was sad about. Sorry, go on.
I saw a clip of his last show, like his sign off, and he was talking about how he doesn't have social media. So Stan Vrett was showing him a tweet that he thought he would appreciate, and it read something like, "I watch SportsCenter religiously and have for 15 years. I don't know who Neil Everett is." And that was his sign off. It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. He just read that tweet.
That's hilarious. I don't know how you don't know who Neil Everett is.
I agree, dude. He's front and center with Stan Vrett.
He's been LA Sports Center. Him and Stan Vrett have been around forever.
If you actually watch Sports Center for like a week straight, it's impossible you don't know who Neil Everett is, let alone religiously.
I feel like Neil Everett used to have a Twitter. I'm fairly certain he did.
It rings a bell.
Because, it's actually, my story is about Neil Everett. Is one summer, me, Chris, Carlos, my cousin John were here every single day doing God knows what, but doing a lot of pool trick shots. And we got real good at them. And this was like my first probably foray into video editing, and I cut it together. It was real good.
I remember this video.
And it went definitely not viral, but at the time it got like 150 likes on Twitter, which was a lot for us. And we were tweeting it at every single ESPN person we could think of to get it on ESPN. We finally give up, and my brother just tweets at Neil Everett, "Hi." No, not related to the video at all. And immediately Neil Everett responds, "Hi." And that was it. That was all it was. There was no follow-up. We sent him the video. He didn't answer, but he did say hi to us.
All right, that's pretty awesome.
I like him. I'm sad he's gone. There was one more in there that Jalen Rose and his immaculate hairline.
McShay was surprising.
McShay was the big one. Him and Kuiper are so 1 and 2 together. Like, that's shocking to me and upsetting.
Yeah, I'm not going to enjoy just Kuiper as much.
No, I liked their back and forth. I thought that was kind of crucial, and especially because a lot of people like McShay more than Kuiper.
I do.
Well, I think we've had this discussion before, either on air or not, but it's on air? Are we on air? No, we're not live. Does that count as on air?
I'm going to have to look back into that and I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
Because I'm going to look into it.
On air or not, we have had this discussion before. I like Mel because I think he is funny.
He is funny.
And I like that. But I also like McShay because I think I like his opinions more.
I like his opinions more, and I think I resonate with his sense of humor more. Because McShay is more how I would deal with being close to somebody like Mel Kiper for as long as he is.
I agree.
It's like the crazy guy you work with. It's just like, after a while, it's just, if he wasn't there being a lunatic, it'd be weird.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, it's pretty sad. Steve Young's gone too, right? Did you say him?
Yeah.
I liked him when he was a guest on the K Show.
Me too.
That was probably my favorite role of his at ESPN. Honestly, I didn't think he was anything great. I saw that Jalen Rose coming off now means Kendrick Perkins might be getting a promotion.
Dude.
And it's just like I don't know if we need more of him on a bigger stage.
That's how I feel about a lot of ESPN people on big stages.
I know like Greeny. I used to really like Greeny.
Me too.
And
I
now,
listen to Mike and Mike religiously.
Now they made him. It's too much.
No one was asking for him to be the face of ESPN. He was perfect. So I actually have a list here of ESPN personalities that are making bags. As Kai chooses the table a little bit, Troy Aikman and Joe Buck.
Oh yeah.
This is actually in order of the highest paid.
Okay.
Stephen A.
Yeah.
Kirk Herbstreit.
Stephen A. said he could be next.
Scott Van Pelt and Pat McAfee. There's been a lot of talk about there's no sacred cows, so how nobody's untouchable at ESPN.
Yeah, right.
I've come up with a extensive list of untouchables at ESPN. Okay. I mean, I was going to run through them.
Okay. I'll see if I agree.
Buck and Aikman.
Yeah.
Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah.
Scott Van Pelt.
Mm-hmm.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
Kornheiser and I think Wilbon.
Yeah. Kornheiser is more untouchable because of Wilbon.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
It's like Paul George.
And Kawhi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike Breen.
I hope so.
I
sure hope so.
I think so.
I think it would be a massive mistake.
Me too.
Yeah.
I met Mike Breen once.
He seems like a very nice guy.
Super nice.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but amazing things about him, and whenever he says bang, there's nothing that gets me more excited in sports. I like it when there's the meme is like, I'm going to say bang so fucking hard, and it's like a picture of Mike Breen.
Yeah. I have one of those saved in my meme folder on my phone. Chris Berman, like the first employee of ESPN.
I mean, it's also Chris Berman's on like, why are you even going to fire him? How long is
I'm sure he's making a bag.
He's probably making so much money, but he's on TV for what?
10 minutes a week.
Yeah. So it's, what's the point?
Big perk, and then I wrote JK next to that.
Oh, okay. But I have that made me think of one.
Greeny, I have.
Yeah.
I don't have JJ.
I have JJ. Yeah, that's who I thought of because he's getting more and more important in the game by game broadcasting.
True.
And first take.
He was a tough omission. I did not go with him.
I would definitely have him on there. I think they love him.
I have Greeny.
In fact, I think you already said Greeny.
Probably.
But I was gonna say I think JJ is the best thing that's happened to ESPN in a long time.
I don't know, dude. Replacing Steve Levy with Joe Buck for Monday Night Football is pretty clutch.
From ESPN's daily television standpoint.
Losing Bomani Jones. Just kidding.
Yeah.
I can't really disagree. I think totally it's valid to say that he's on the short list, if not at the top of it, for improving the day-to-day programming.
I just think he's exactly the counterbalance that they needed on a station that is basically entirely hot takes now, that he refuses to get bogged down in that. I think he's basically the hero that we all needed.
What if they don't like that? Like Kellerman did that too.
Kellerman, people love JJ. people
true.
mostly hated Kellerman.
But does ESPN love JJ? I'm sure they do, but do they?
I think so, because they keep putting him on more and more. He was only supposed to do like a quarter of what he's doing, and then he just was so good that they kept putting him onto more stuff.
I don't know if he's on the untouchables list yet, though. You know what? He's probably more on it now that he's not making an insane salary from them. I'm sure he's making a lot, but I'm sure they'll give him the bag or think about giving him the bag. And this is all cost cutting. This isn't you're bad at your job.
Oh, I know. I think they wouldn't fire him.
I also have Lee Corso from Game Day, Kirk Herbstreit, Jeff Passan.
Yeah.
I have Adam Schefter. I have Ian Dark on that list. I'm not 1,000% sure he deserves to be on it, but he's been doing the soccer for 13 years as the lead play-by-play guy, and he just had, I guess, none of the World Cup games, but he gets a lot of the other big stuff.
I thought Twellman would be untouchable, honestly, but he left, so
Yeah.
I think, honestly, none of the soccer guys are. But he, I guess, more than anyone, but
I guess it's more unlikely to be fired than unfireable for him.
I think...
Because, like, why are you going to fire the guy?
I think you put that perfectly.
Thank you.
I think that is kind of what I was trying to get at with JJ. I think he's not untouchable. I think they could, but I don't think they should, and there's no reason to.
Okay, fair.
There we go.
So it just kind of translates into a larger discussion about the future of how we consume sports and sports media. So ESPN's all-time high for household subscribers was 100 million. They're already down to 3/4 of that. So I actually was on Reddit the other day, and there was a discussion in the Bill Simmons subreddit just about, do people watch SportsCenter? I think it's lost a lot of the allure just because of the accessibility of highlights, opinions, information. But I still like the way that they package it up and the commentary that SportsCenter provides. I watch SVP almost every night. I probably wouldn't watch if the anchors weren't as good, and that might be obvious, but like Neil Everett leaving, it's going to like drastically change my viewing experience at night. Right now, live sports seems to be the lifeblood of the company. They have the NBA Finals, they have the NHL package with Turner, they have the college football playoff and the selection show, and for the NFL, they have the draft, Monday Night Football, and they're going to have the Super Bowl in 2027. Of the top 100 telecasts of 2022, 94 were sports events. And I think...
That's not shocking.
No, definitely not. And like probably 80 of them were football games, college and or NFL.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The future of sports media is changing a lot. Podcasts have taken off. Like two idiots like us probably wouldn't be able to broadcast our opinions to the masses a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we could have, or it probably just would have been bad.
Hopefully it's not now.
That's very true.
I don't think it is.
I hope not.
I'm squirming a little bit in this chair.
Yeah, it's not as comfortable as our usual setup. I think the way we consume sports will never go back to the way it was in terms of at least the SportsCenter era where that was the end-all be-all. Just because it's just not as good. For me, it has nothing to do with the accessibility of the highlights. It's just not as good as it used to be. It's so stale.
I agree. I think the information is probably bigger than the highlights. Like, you don't need to tune in a SportsCenter to know who's going to be out in the NFL tomorrow.
That's true. And they're not giving you anything you can't get elsewhere.
100%.
I think...
Earlier.
Yeah, earlier. Unless you're going to have Woj on live TV all day, it's like...
I would watch.
I probably would too. But him just literally texting all day, I'd probably watch. But they're not innovators in that world anymore at all. It's just old. And like them bringing in a podcast now to be their leading sports show, essentially, with Pat McAfee, kind of speaks volumes. I just think ESPN... firing all their good talent isn't the solution. Cost cutting isn't going to fix the problems necessarily. It can make you scale down and it might save you from bankruptcy or something, but it's not going to make your viewership increase. They need to make like radical changes to how they're presenting their TV and everything to get viewership back up.
Well, they're just pumping it into rights. Like, they have a Super Bowl now.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. But if they're just going to be a live TV just for live sports, that's one thing. Like, then that's a totally different pivot, and then I can't speak to that. But in terms of their actual on-air talent and things like, and shows that they air throughout the day when there's not sports, that would need to change, is my point.
I expect in the distant-ish future that we will be subscribing to different platforms to watch pretty much every sporting event. I don't see how it's sustainable with it being the only draw to live TV that it doesn't branch out that way.
I mean, that's kind of just the way the streaming model is headed, honestly.
It's there.
Yeah.
For everything but sports.
Yeah, exactly. I meant streaming model in sports, because the game that's on right now is on Prime, the Yankee game.
The MLS is on Apple TV.
So it is headed there. I agree with you. With Apple taking the MLS, with eventually another streaming platform is going to, whatever one eats up MLB, whether it's Prime or Apple or Peacock. I think that they have games on all three platforms right now. Like, does TNT have a streaming platform?
Oh, I don't think they have a streaming platform, but you can stream TNT.
Yeah, the TNT.
Live TNT.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they get a streaming platform, who's to say they don't get the NBA? And then it's like, ESPN has the NFL, TNT has the NBA, MLS has Apple, and Prime has MLB. Then you need all of those just to get any of those.
Would you like to go on to NBA free agency talk?
Sure. You want to provide them with what we're doing?
Okay, so for this segment, we're going to go through some of the recent NBA free agent acquisitions and re-signings, and we'll do a buy-sell hold for a lot of the guys that signed new deals over the last few days. So the first one, Tyrese Halliburton signed a 5-year, $260 million, right, max extension.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can only go up to that if he makes an All-NBA team. I have a buy for Halliburton. I think he's one of the best point guards in the NBA. There's a lot of teams that passed on him in the draft, the Knicks included, that really shouldn't have and kind of look like fools for doing so now. And it's more than you might think. It's like almost a third of the league probably should have taken him.
Yeah.
The Suns included with Chris Paul. What do you have for Halliburton?
I'm buying Halliburton. I'm buying the contract. He's awesome. I think the reason he got passed on, I think COVID had a lot to do with that, honestly. You couldn't get guys in for workouts the same way you could otherwise. It was hard to know if his shooting would translate because it's weird. It's not like traditional shooting form at all. Very possible that it wouldn't have translated. I think if maybe they'd gotten him in the gym and seen that at the NBA three-point line he can consistently knock it down, he wouldn't have fallen as far. I think the Sabonis trade is, not to get off course here, but is kind of a win-win for both sides. I think the Kings may kick themselves a little bit. I think Halliburton's ceiling is higher, but I think Sabonis raised the Kings' ceiling. So that's why it's kind of a win-win. I feel like in any trade, there's always losing aspects to it. If you win outright, then you just got bamboozled. I don't think the Kings got bamboozled per se, but I definitely think it was a win-win for both sides. I think the Pacers are headed in the right direction. I like Obi for them. I like that trade. I think they're on the way up. So I'm buying the Pacers, buying the extension. Halliburton averaged 20 and 10 last year. He's worth the money. He's really good.
Well, the natural transition then is to Domantas Sabonis, who also inked a 5-year deal, I believe, for $207.
Yeah, same thing, buying the deal. I think he took less than max money so they could keep bringing guys in. I think. Not 100% certain on that, but I'm pretty sure he did. And he is essentially like a discount bargain brand Jokic. You know, he's does a lot of Jokic-y things, but just not nearly at the same level, except rebounding. He rebounds at an extremely high level. But I'm nowhere close to out on the Kings.
I have a hold on this one. I think Sabonis is awesome. I think he's a great player. My My problem, if you could even call it that, is just at what point are you spending a lot of your salary cap on Sabonis? And yeah, he's similar to Jokic, but you're paying a Jokic-ish price for a discount Jokic, and maybe you can look at it and say, sure, but Jokic is actually, you're getting Jokic at a discount just because of the impact he has. But I'm not sure if it's a move that I think the Kings are kind of going to be what they were this year for a lot of the next few years. And I like Sabonis. It's just like I don't see the upside that I do with someone like Halliburton.
Well, it's for less money than Halliburton.
It is.
And also, if the Kings are what they were this year, that's the 3 seed. So
yeah, but they weren't better than a lot of the teams that were under them.
They weren't, but they're continuing to get better. They brought back Barnes, and Keegan Murray, more development, and Kevin Huerter another year in the system, and I think Malik Monk's coming back. Like, they're a good team who it's not easy to upgrade over a Sabonis, though.
No, definitely not. You have to re-sign him.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying he's nearly as impactful as Jokic, but he's also making $70 million less than Jokic, or $60 million less than Jokic. I mean, Jokic is underpaid, but the market rate for an all-NBA center, him getting less than a max deal is, I would say, pretty good.
I think so. It's just, I mean, it's why it's not a sell for me, but like, it's just, yeah, you had to do it and you did it.
I mean, he did just get them to the playoffs for the first time in how long? 20 years, something like that?
The longest in sports, in North American sports.
So, and he could have gotten more money elsewhere. So it's, for me, it's good on enough levels that it's beyond a hold, but that's just my opinion.
The next one I have is Anthony Edwards, also got a 5 for $260.
Okay, what do you have on this one?
I have a buy, but...
Okay, but what has he done that's... I'm not saying I wouldn't buy it, but I'm just saying he hasn't done anything.
Oh, it has nothing to do with what have you done for me. It's what can you do for me. And I actually don't even think... I think the ceiling's capped in Minnesota, but that's more about the roster building around him. I think that team... I mean, they're going to have to trade Cat.
Like, yeah, they're screwed.
To make it work.
So that's why this is a hold for me, because the Timberwolves are screwed.
I agree with that.
So, like, yeah, it's a good extension. You pay the guy, but the Timberwolves are screwed.
100%, but that has nothing to do with him. He's like the one good thing they have going for them.
Yeah, he is.
They got some good depth players.
Yeah, but also, what does re-signing him do for you if you're screwed? It's the inverse argument of the Kings one. If you let Sabonis walk and you're the Kings, you go from the 4th seed to you're out of the playoffs.
Well, I guess it comes down to, like, at what I think their peaks can be, who am I cooler with making that much money and, like, being...
$50 million less, though.
That's true.
I think
the reason I had Edwards higher was just because I think he could be... I think his ceiling is, like, is an all-NBA guy.
I agree. I just... It feels to me that you're both underrating Sabonis and underappreciating the fact that he took less than he could have gotten.
I might be.
I'm buying the player and the contract for Anthony Edwards. I think he's awesome, but I'm selling the situation.
Yeah, definitely sell the situation. LaMelo also got as much money as anyone could give him.
I'm high on LaMelo. If he can stay healthy, I think he's awesome. I like... what's his face? Who'd they just draft?
Brandon Miller.
I can't... He has such a generic name in my mind. I cannot remember it. I always think Anthony Richardson, the quarterback.
Yeah, that's not him.
I know it's not. And they just both have really bland names. So it's just... It doesn't... Either way, I like him. I like his fit there. Hornets have new ownership. You couldn't let him walk away because he's beyond just being, I think, really good. He's got legitimate, like, star power and brings that draw that, like, otherwise why would anyone go to the Hornets?
New owner's not going to trade LaMelo Ball as his first move.
Yeah, I do. I wouldn't be surprised if LaMelo's disgruntled pretty soon and wants out. I think it's pretty much like a perma sell the Hornets until proven otherwise.
A little bit of tangent, though. The new thing in the NBA is now just sign the Supermax and figure it out later.
That's what I'm saying. I think I think he could be the next disgruntled star to win out.
Before, like Jaylen Brown, when he signs his Supermax.
No, I don't know. I thought Jaylen Brown was going to be, I don't know. I don't know what to make of him. Jaylen Brown leaving would be going from a good situation because you want to be the number one guy, almost like Kyrie. LaMelo would be, I've been stranded in Charlotte in this hopeless situation since I was drafted, and I'm begging you to take me somewhere else. So it's not a direct, it's not the same thing. So it's harder to predict Jaylen Brown.
It's a great transition because I am selling every last cent of stock I have in Kyrie Irving.
I mean,
it's been sold. I'm just sweeping out the room it was in now. He got $126 million.
Yeah, I kind of expected him to get paid.
I didn't even know if he was going to be back.
With the Mavericks? They had to. You had to double down.
What if Luka hated him?
If Luka hated him that much, I bet he would have been gone.
That reeks of one of the next mega star to be moved.
Luka? Yeah.
Maybe not over Embiid.
The Knicks have been linked to every superstar ever in the history of the world that's ever wanted out. And the only one that they've been legitimately in on is Donovan Mitchell, pretty much. Legitimately as in advanced discussions, not a, hey, you want my bench player for your superstar? No, see you later. The guy they're going to be really in on is Embiid.
Oh, definitely, just because of the connections with Neon Leon.
Beyond just that, it's the fit, it's the assets. You know what? Fine, I'll predict it. If Embiid requests out of Philadelphia, I think he's going to the Knicks.
What would a package look like? Would Randall be going the other way? Randall picks.
It could be Randall, but I don't think Fournier would solely be to make salaries match. Yeah. I think it would be Mitch. I think it would probably be Quickly. I think Grimes would probably be going as well. I think
so more players than picks.
I think both. I think it would.
Well, like a Nets return kind of thing.
Yeah. How did we get here?
Kyrie.
Yeah, I saw Embiid's gonna. I think Embiid's gonna want out, and I think he's going to the Knicks.
Buy or sell Kyrie, or hold.
I buy Kyrie, but I sell the situation.
You buy the contract with Kyrie?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
I don't know. I think he'll be fine. Honestly, I don't have much to base it off of. It's mostly a hunch that I'm not. I think Kyrie will perform under this contract.
We'll see.
I think what they should have done is when the Suns said they were interested in Kyrie was try to trade him for Ayton as fast as they could. I think that's what they. I think that's what they should have done.
All right. So the next one I have is Austin Reeves. I have a buy for this one. I was stunned that the Lakers got him at, I think, a 4 for $54 or something like that. I thought he would be approaching, maybe if somebody threw him like a restricted contract, close to 100.
4 for 56. I just looked it up. I'm buying the shit out of it.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they got him for that.
Guy's a legitimate playoff starter and performer.
If I were the Knicks GM, I would have offered him $100 million and just figured it out. If I was Neon Leon, I probably would have offered him $100 million and just put him in that starting lineup, and he actually would have been an awesome fit for the Knicks. I didn't even think of it until just that second. Yeah, he would have been an awesome fit between Brunson and RJ and Randall as a tertiary initiator / creator.
It's crazy value.
I don't
know what happened.
I have no idea. Maybe he just didn't want to leave. Maybe he just loves LeBron, who's probably leaving. I don't know. That whoever his agent is, really fucked up. That's all I got. I can't believe he got only $56 million.
He was really good in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Shockingly good.
And
if you're another team in the West, why not offer sheet him because
Why do you want the Lakers to have him for 56?
the Lakers are probably going to match it no matter what.
Yeah, at
So
least
give
make
him
them
as much as you could. Yeah, make them
I
take
don't
up their
know.
cap space.
Offer him 80 or something. I don't know. That was I don't know. That is a steal for him. He's 25, but he's 2 years in the NBA? Like, he's still developing. He's still getting better. I see him easily being an 18 to 20 point per game guy at some point, you know? I just can't believe they got him for that cheap. I'm high on him.
Yeah. You know who did get 4 for 80?
Dylan Brooks?
Dylan Brooks.
I didn't see that coming.
No, I didn't either. I will say, though, we took the Dylan Brooks hate a little too far. Like, there were people straight up saying he was not an NBA caliber player.
There were former NBA players saying that.
And that was a little crazy.
Absolutely. And it was for the memes that
Yeah.
it was, better learn Mandarin because you're going to be playing for Guangdong next year.
Something like that.
Yeah, like that was funny. It was very funny, and the Dylan Brooks won't be on the Grizzlies under any circumstances, even if there's a fire, was also hilarious. Like that's ridiculous. But I didn't think he was getting 20 mil. The Rockets just had money to blow and were bringing in guys, veterans that could help change the culture there. He's a hard-nosed, gritty defender, and he can shoot the three, and he's actually like a good fit there. But
Yeah.
I don't think he's worth $20 million. 13 to 15, as that's what role players get these days, as a seventh man or a fourth option for a team. Fine, that's the going rate. Evan Fournier got 18, but 20 was shocking.
20's a lot.
Yeah.
I will say, though, at least that team's so young that his contract really will be an afterthought by the time that they need to start paying other people, if not an asset, because it'll be an expiring.
I guess if for a buy, sell, or hold, I'm a hold on it. I like it for them. I think it's too much money, but if you had to overpay to get the guy, fine. I honestly don't really care. It's not going to kill them. $20 million doesn't cripple your franchise, and he's an impactful player. He is, so it's fine.
I'm somewhere between a hold and, I'm somewhere between a sell and a free bin, because a free bin, just toss it in the free bin.
Yeah.
Because Dylan Brooks to the Rockets is really not something I'm going to think about, except for the occasional game I watch on League Pass and be like, oh my God, yeah, Dylan Brooks is on the Rockets. So I don't need that. It's just taking up space.
I think the Rockets are fun, and
I agree.
I think he's a good fit for them. They need someone who plays defense. Him and Van Vliet are good at defense. I think it's good for their identity. It's good to get veterans in there. I think Ime. I think they're an ascending team, sort of.
I agree 100%.
So I think he's not the piece, obviously. He's not, but he's a solid piece. So I'm fine on it. I'm lukewarm on it.
I'm just looking at it like do I need to save space in my binder here for 1 or 2 Dylan Brooks Rockets playoff appearances? There's other stuff I'd rather hold on to, so I'm happy to part ways with this one. I'm not saying it's a bad move necessarily.
You just don't
am I
care.
gonna buy, sell, or hold? This doesn't do it for me. Someone else can have it.
You just don't care, basically.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I care a little bit, so hold.
Okay. The last one I have is Dante DiVincenzo completing the Villanova Knicks. Jay Wright, next coach.
Yeah. So I had a real in-depth conversation with my boss about this today, actually. He went to Villanova, so he's a big fan of all of them. But it's fine. It's a fine move. 4 for 50, decent role player money. Dante DiVincenzo's a decent role player.
Good culture guy.
Plays good defense, can shoot a little bit, fits in the Villanova culture, keeps those guys happy, whatever. It's fine. Is Tibbs going to play small? Do you think Tibbs will play small? Do you think Tibbs is flexible enough with his lineups to make the current rotation work?
You lost me at is Tibbs flexible?
As a coach, not as a man.
That's what I meant.
I thought you meant
I don't think he's very flexible as a coach either.
I thought you meant can Tibbs put
he
his
do a
legs
split?
behind
No.
his head? That's an image. I don't know. Maybe he can. I don't know. As a coach, I think he's very rigid. And
yeah, that's what I meant.
He's a horrible offensive coach.
Yeah.
So, in a team with an abundance of guards, you didn't need another guard. He fits the profile of things you need. You needed more defense and you needed more shooting. But I thought you needed that in the form of a wing, not in the form of a guard. So now you've got Brunson, Grimes, Quickly, DiVincenzo, and Hart and RJ, who are 6 arguably guards. Like, RJ and Hart are more wings, whatever. But, like, you don't have a backup power forward. Tibbs probably plays a 9-man rotation anywhere. Is he going to play Hart at the 4? He's good enough at rebounding, but will he do it? I wanted to stretch 4. I wanted to stretch 5. I didn't need another guard.
Well, they might think that they have other moves down the pipeline.
I think the Knicks aren't done. I think they can't be done. Their team is just weird. And Fournier needs to go. He requested a trade. And you're not paying him $18 million anymore. They're just, I don't know. It's Tibbs. He's the problem. He's not a good offensive coach.
No, he never has been.
No, it's not his thing. He's a good defensive coach, but the Knicks don't run an offense. You watch them play, and it's like they're playing on a smaller court than everyone else. It's so congested, and you can't do anything. So you bring in another guard to a guy who's notoriously only plays his starters anyway, and only plays who he plays. So it's just like I would have liked, I don't know. I thought there was more. I hope there's more.
It's July 5th. The odds are
I know there just
a lot
has
of all-stars are going to move still.
It doesn't have to be for an all-star though. I don't think it has to I think there are ways the Knicks can position themselves to be better without getting another all-star. They have 2 of them. It's not like they don't. Yes, they are lower tier all-stars, but they have a guy in Quickly who was arguably should have been 6th man of the year. They have RJ, who's a 20-point per game scorer who was at his best in these playoffs. Yes, you want that 3rd star. That is the piece, but their team, as currently constructed, is good enough to be the 4 or 5 seed in the East. But there are moves that you can do to make your team better. If you even bring in a Nemanja Bjelica to be your stretch 4 to replace Obi in those 15 minutes, or even, bear with me, a stretch 5, because you don't need a rim protector in at all times. So a lot of teams don't ever have a rim protector. Tibbs teams do, and that's why it's him. He's the problem. In today's NBA, you need a team that plays offense. You saw it with Spo, with all that he brought out of those guys. It's I was at one point I thought the Knicks could bring in Kevin Love as their backup 4, but Tibbs probably won't even play him because he can't guard. We had a lottery pick, our 8th overall pick, just rotting away on the bench, even though every time he played, he averaged 25, 10, and 8. And then we just traded him for 2 seconds because he couldn't play defense. And because Tibbs wouldn't play him and Randall together. Why wouldn't you try them together? They're both 6'10". You don't need a rim protector in at all times. Just try it. It's him. You can do more things with this lineup. It's pretty clear that playing Hart and RJ next to each other isn't enough shooting unless maybe you have a stretch 4 in there or a stretch 5 in there. Then you can have 2 not great shooters there. But since they're not great shooters and Hart's not even a willing shooter half the time, you put him at the 4 and you put Quickly or DiVincenzo in and you could put Randall at the 5 and then you have enough shooting, or Grimes in, you put him there. Then you have enough shooting, you have enough scoring, you can do more things. But Tibbs doesn't even try these things. That's why the DiVincenzo trade drives me nuts, because in a vacuum with a normal head coach who can do normal offensive things, it's a good move. But with Tibbs, it's just whatever. He'll probably just play him. Next, it'll probably be Quickly, DiVincenzo, Hart, fill in the blank scrap heaps, power forward, or just whoever, or Randall will run with the second unit a lot of the time, and then Hartenstein. Square peg, square hole. Circle peg, circle hole. That's all Tibbs knows. God forbid you try to throw a little star hole in there, or squiggle or something. Like,
I like the squiggle. I always like the squiggle.
you throw the squiggle in there. You try different things out, different combinations like other coaches do. Maybe. I don't know. You know, who's the the best three-point shooter of all time?
Steph.
Is he the best point guard in the league? In your opinion? Maybe.
I think so.
Pretend he is. He doesn't play on the ball half the time. He plays off the ball. He's a 2 guard for half the game because all Steve Kerr does is run actions off the ball for him to get him open threes. He does it all the time. That's why Draymond gets so much credit, because he's the primary playmaker half the time. It's because he's willing to try things. Tibbs doesn't try anything. It sucks.
Do you think he's going to be the coach at the end of next year?
Of this upcoming year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
We're going to make it through the end of next year, which includes like a week after the season ends. Like
it's too many variables. I let's just say they have a bad playoff showing, a disappointing playoff showing, less than you expected.
Then he's
I
out.
think Dolan loses patience and they shepherd Tibbs into some sort of front office role because him and Neon Leon are besties. But I don't think they'll fire him. I just think. I mean, the Giants even gave fucking Gettleman a send off. It's just like these organizations just like want to be classy sometimes, and I think they would want to with Tibbs. I don't know. DiVincenzo, fine, good player. I had this whole rant earlier. It's just they're so frustrating. You watch the Yankees, and there's nothing tangible you can do to make them better. There's nothing Boone can really do with these guys who just can't hit and can't play. It's not his fault they're not hitting and playing.
But the answers are there for the next.
The answers could be there. They're possible. The answers, the people we get pissed off at, is Cashman, because he can do things to make this team better that we see. Tibbs can do things to make this team better. He has that power. It's not like Boone shuffling the lineup's going to make them hit. It doesn't. He does it all the time. It's so frustrating. Drives me nuts.
I think that's it for like NBA stuff, right?
Yeah, you want to move to awards?
Sure.
You want to start?
Yeah. My first award is the John Collins Award.
This is going to a player who has been on the trade block for their entire existence and finally got moved.
Almost. So I wrote a little blurb actually.
So am I even close?
Yeah.
Okay.
The John Collins Award is presented to the player who most exemplifies the characteristics and traditions associated with currently living on the trade block.
Okay.
It's essentially number one trade block guy.
Now, new number one trade block guy. In basketball?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a tough one.
I don't know if it's as
actual
tough as you
trade
think.
block or like rumored trade block?
Rumored trade block.
So like it could be Dame, it could be Harden, it could be Levine, it could be Zion.
It's none of those guys.
Wow, okay. Is it a lesser tier than those guys?
Far lesser tier.
Okay, so now it's just role player on trade block?
No, he's a starter, I think, on a decent sized deal.
Oh, no. Role players can be starters.
Bench players talking like starters, I hate it.
Yeah, but no, we'll leave Drake out of this. Okay. OG Anunoby.
No. I liked your excitement, though.
I can't believe that's
Gotta
not
be going.
it. I know, I can't believe that's not it. All right, tell me.
Miles Turner.
He's off the trade block now, though. He has been. They're not moving him.
Why not?
They've made their peace with him. He's fine now.
I don't know, dude. That guy's name has been in rumors for at least 5 years.
Yeah, I think he's gone now. Once they got rid of Sabonis, they're just like, you know what, fine. You're good enough. Like, we'll keep you.
We'll see.
If you had said this to me a year ago, I would have known it. But Miles Turner, I think he's fine now. I think he's off it.
I'm looking up, is Miles Turner on the trade block?
I don't see why the Pacers would want to move him anymore.
It does say he's not on the trade block.
Yeah. I think he's off it.
If he confirms that he is no longer a resident of the trade block, I will issue a full-page apology.
In the Times? If I got, I think it's
if you
expensive.
can get one, yeah.
I think it's expensive.
I will write a beautiful trilogy.
I don't think we want to be paying for that.
But if you find a lesser times,
I'll find like the
Jabroni
Locust Valley Times or something, or like something like that. They'll let you in there.
All right, cool.
All right, so my first award is the Forgotten Unicorn Award.
Forgotten Unicorn Award. Okay, so this is going to a player that was named a unicorn, such as like a Porzingis or Jokic, like this guy is like nobody else has this skill set kind of guy, that flew under the radar or did not fly under the radar, but has since his star has faded so much that he's not very well remembered anymore by the masses.
Sort of.
Real ones, no.
Yeah, I would say that. That's it, sort of.
Okay.
It's kind of. It's a guy who is a unicorn in the Porzingis sense, in the, large guard essentially, like 7-foot guy who can shoot and dribble and do things like that. But people aren't really talking about because Wemby's basically gotten all the hype.
Is this Bol?
It is not Bol. It is not Bol because people have been talking about him. That's why, because people are like, what does Wemby do that Bol doesn't? Which is ridiculous because Bol's cool and does cool things, but the way Wemby moves is different.
Yeah, Wemby moves like a guard.
Yes, for his height, like Bol moves like a big man who can dribble the ball. Wemby literally moves like a guard. It's insane. He moves like KD. I'm not saying he's as good as KD. People are, hot take culture. People get real upset these days. But he moves like a Kevin Durant. But no, so not Bol.
Alex Len.
What? No, not Alex Len.
I knew it wasn't Alex Len.
Oh, thank God. No, but Alex Len did have a resurgence last year with the Kings. But no. Do you want one more guess?
Yeah. Scalabissier.
No, it's not Scalabissier. He's an actual white guy. Yeah, Scal was
That's
kind of...
a white guy? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say it was a white guy.
I thought you just said it's an actual white guy.
No, I said he's an actual player.
Oh.
Well, it is a white guy. It's Chet. It's Chet Holmgren.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't say he was a white guy. I don't know how you heard that.
I don't know.
Like, Scal is out of the league.
I know.
Yeah, okay. No, it's Chet. Because Chet came back, made a summer league debut last night.
It was awesome.
Started off slow, but then ended with 15-9 and 4 blocks.
Crazy blocks. Like two-handed.
Yeah. Some of them were like, his hands were like top of the backboard. People forget how good of a defender and rim protector he is.
He is also bulked up.
He's definitely put on muscle. And he reminded me a lot of Porzingis when he came up. When he was just like a little awkward in doing. I don't know if you remember this. Porzingis, it might have been his first game, had like a steal and a fast break, and he did like a spin move where like it really looked like he was gonna fall or turn it over or something, but did the spin move and then dunked it, and it was like, oh shit, this guy's like real. That's like what I see with Chet is like, the Thunder they have their All-NBA first team guy already. Josh Giddey played power forward for them last year, and he's a point guard, but he's 6'8" to 6'10". Like he's 6'8". Jalen Williams averaged like 18 a game after the All-Star break last year. He's awesome. He's 6'5". They're all huge, and they have so many assets, dude. They
have 15 first-round picks in the next 7 years, I think.
But I think they are positioned not just as good as they were when they had 3 Hall of Famers on their team, but they're building it in a similarly positive way.
With almost
more
less
assets.
redundancy.
Yeah, sort of, just because they're so versatile. Yeah. So they are redundant in that they do a lot of the same things, but they're not because they do a lot of things, And if Giddey can learn how to shoot, like actually be a shooter, and be like a stretch 4 who's basically a point guard. I was looking at this today. He went from 3% from 3 to 33% from 3 this year. If he could get up to like 38% and then still be 18, 8, and 8 next to a 35 point per game scorer and an 18 point per game scorer and Chet, that team's scary.
Chet, who has immediate defensive player of the year potential.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
he doesn't improve at all on the offensive
Yeah,
side.
and if he can just be actually just stretch the floor. If he doesn't reach his ceiling whatsoever and becomes Miles Turner, they're still awesome. I think the Thunder are on the way up. But yeah, I think Chet's the forgotten unicorn.
That's fair. I probably should have guessed that earlier.
I'm shocked you didn't, but...
Well, I was throwing out some dumb guesses.
Yeah, Scalabicier was a throwback, though. I hadn't thought about him in a long time.
My next award is the Like Mike Sneakers Award.
So these are just a cheat code, essentially, for a player?
It's not. It's actually not going to It's not going to a clothing-ish item directly associated with a player. Well, you'll see.
Is it going to a player?
No, it's going to a clothing item. Because
the
sneakers from Mike
okay.
Award.
It's going to a clothing item, and it's not going. But is it going to a player's clothing item?
I can't confirm, but it's going to a clothing item that was heavily involved with an NBA player, an all-time great.
I'm gonna be so pissed at this one. Just tell me it.
You want to know the reason?
Sure.
Okay. This item is given to a clothing item or accessory that changed the fortunes of somebody and helped lead them to the pinnacle of the NBA.
Is it LeBron's headband?
It's kind of It's LeBron-ish. You want me to tell you?
Just tell me.
It's going to the authentic throwback Warren Moon jersey that Rich Paul was selling in the Akron Canton Airport in 2002 that caught the attention of LeBron James. Rich Paul.
Are you fucking kidding me with that? Rich Paul's Warren Moon jersey?
Hey man, Clutch Sports at the start of free agency negotiated over $400 million worth of contracts. Just next season alone, Rich Paul's direct clients are making a collective $370 million. Tom isn't even looking at me anymore. Highlighted by LeBron, AD, Zach LaVine, Darius Garland, and De'Aaron Fox. Rich Paul is dating Adele, and this all started because he was selling jerseys out of his car, and he had a cool, authentic Warren Moon jersey, and this young high school athlete named LeBron comes up to him, and he's like, hey man, that's a cool jersey. They exchange information. He later sells him 2 jerseys, one of which was a Rams Joe Namath jersey. And Rich Paul has been LeBron's agent since he left Cleveland. He is probably the most powerful agent in the NBA and an award winner, most importantly.
That's fine. That's fine and all, and it's a nice story. But we could have. There was no scenario where I ever could have gotten that. Not in a million years could I have gotten that.
That's true.
I am.
A million years is a long time.
A million years. I didn't even know that story, so I wouldn't. There's no way I could have ever guessed it.
Now you know.
Fine, you're not gonna guess this next one.
You're not invited to my birthday party.
Next person who talks not invited to my birthday party. All right.
Shit. Got yourself.
All right. I'm giving the Junk Drawer Award.
All right.
And it's not going to a player, I'll tell you that.
No, this is going to the O.Co Coliseum.
No. You're never going to guess it. You're never going to guess it. It's going to an argument that needs to be thrown in the trash. All the contents of the junk drawer that you've just been filling up and keeping just in case, just throw it out. You don't need it. And I'm saying that I'm a full-on hoarder. I don't throw anything out. But I should throw more things out. So this is an argument, a discussion that I've seen enough times, and I'm tired of it. I'll let you guess based on that hint. I'll give you a little bit more. It's a cross-sport debate.
I don't know.
Okay, it's the question of what could the average person do? Get a hit in a baseball game. I think it's rush 10 yards in an NFL game or hit a shot in an NBA game. What's harder for the average fan to do?
You don't think you could hit a shot in an NBA game?
I know I could hit a shot in an NBA game.
Oh, so you're saying this is so obvious that...
Yes.
I agree with that, yeah.
Do you know which one is the hardest?
The hardest?
Yes, which is the hardest?
The hardest
and it shouldn't even be in the debate.
The hardest is probably hit... What was the baseball one?
Hit a baseball. Get a hit in a baseball game.
So here's the thing. Yeah, probably the hardest.
Easily the hardest.
You give me one rush in the NFL, I am
not one
stretchered off. That's what I'm saying.
No. It's not... That's... Yes. Fine.
So I think that's the least achievable for me.
No.
It's 10 yards in an NBA game.
No. In an NFL game.
And that's what I meant.
No, but it's... Assuming injuries are turned off.
I mean, yeah, that obviously, like the baseball thing.
People do not have any understanding of how hard it is to hit a baseball. I see people all the time on Twitter like, oh yeah, I could get a hit in a baseball game. No, the fuck you couldn't.
Well, here's the thing, dude.
No chance, Ed.
If I was trying to, no, but I think I have a better chance of closing my eyes and making contact than I do rushing for 10 yards in an NFL game.
No chance, Ed. No chance. Even if they're throwing, the average fastball today is what, 94, 95? You know how hard it is to hit 94, 95? Even if you know where it is, and you have to hit it where someone isn't, and...
I was just thinking make contact,
no,
I guess.
It's get a hit, not make contact. Get a hit. So you have to not only... basically square up a 95, or it's a breaking ball, God forbid. Imagine trying to hit a Clay Holmes sinker, 94 with movement.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. How many swings do you think it would take the average NFL running back, eyes closed, to get a hit?
So many. Eyes closed? So many, Ed.
I think eyes closed...
You don't even know how fast... You can't even time that up.
I think eyes closed, for a lot of people, you would be more likely to get a hit than eyes open. Certainly for me, that would be the case.
So many. But I bet you, if you put Aaron Judge in an NFL game, I bet if again, injuries are off.
Well, that's the thing, dude. You can't do that.
Okay,
like,
fine. Turn injuries back on.
You
put Giancarlo Stanton in there. He might pull something, but he's strong enough. He can withstand it. I bet he could rush for 10 yards if for an entire game. Throw in some play action passes or something. You know, in this scenario, your O-line is good enough. It's not horrible.
What about like hockey players that like can tip 100-mile-an-hour slap shots out of the air?
The question is the average fan.
All right, fair.
So yeah, I think a hockey player has a unique set of skills.
I still think for the average fan, like you're just gonna fucking die in the NFL game. Like you're not gonna take more than one hit.
Well, okay. The debate was. It was basketball or baseball. That was the one that I was...
It's definitely the easiest is to make a shot.
Yes, without a doubt. If you put me in an entire NBA game right now...
And you're worked into the game plan.
Yes, and I'm not going to create my own shot, but if I'm getting good looks throughout the game, and I'm just, open, I for sure can make one of them. Like, yeah, sure, I'll have 6'7". I've had 6'7" close out on me before. I've had a 6'10" guy. I've had Check Diallo dunk on me. I've played NBA players before. I can make a jump shot. I cannot hit an MLB pitcher. No chance. I think I would break every bone in my body in an NFL game. Absolutely. But if it's 10 yards, sure. Okay, let's make it 5 yards. Because 10 yards is a first down.
I think one tackle for like a loss of 5 and almost everyone is done.
Even if you have a good O-line?
Yeah. I mean, certainly for me, not good enough.
It's not an all-out blitz situation. It's regular pass protect.
I understand, dude. I think like you're getting at most you're getting back to the line of scrimmage.
I still think baseball's the hardest.
I think, sure.
I think the higher risk of injury is football. And I think the risk of death is higher, and that makes it less probable.
That's kind of what
baseball,
I'm saying.
it is harder.
I agree with that. But, what is...
Well, this whole debate has ruined my award. The award was that this argument stinks, and I don't want to have it anymore. And we've just had the argument.
Well, no, we don't have to again.
All right, either way, moving on. We're not agreeing on this. What, trivia?
Yes.
Okay.
So for today's trivia, the data collected from this came from the NBA store.
Okay.
Highest selling jerseys from last year. You can go 1 through 5. You can go 1 through 10. You can go 1 through 15. I have it all.
I'll do 1 through 10, not in order.
Word.
LeBron.
1.
Jokic.
12.
Luka.
5.
AD.
No AD.
KD.
6.
Booker.
7. You have 1, 5, 6, 7.
I just had one in my head that I forgot. Ja.
8. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Steph.
2. So you're missing 3, 4, 9, and 10.
Is Brunson up there?
No.
Okay. I thought there was a chance. Kyrie.
10. So you're just missing 4 and 9. 4's...
Dame.
Sorry, you're missing 3, 4, and 9. Dame is 9. So you're missing 3 and 4. Not... guys that you will probably punch yourself in the face if you don't get.
Giannis.
4.
Embiid.
13.
Punch myself in the face if I don't get. Tatum?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all 10.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Do you want to go to 15? You've already guessed 12 and 13.
Sure. Jokic and Embiid were 12 and 13.
Yep.
SGA?
No, he's not up there.
I assume, like, not De'Aaron Fox.
It's not Fox.
Jimmy?
It's not Jimmy.
Wow.
I can give you a hint that will kind of give away who one of the guys is.
I'll take it.
Not Fox, but same draft class as this guy's brother.
LaMelo?
Yeah, is 11.
Okay. I didn't see that one coming.
15, tough to guess. 14, all-NBA guy.
Brown?
14 is Jaylen Brown.
And 15's all NBA guy?
No.
Oh, 15's tough to guess.
NBA champion with a different team than he's on now.
I don't know, tell me.
Jordan Poole. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, no way. No chance I was guessing that. All
This
right.
is on NBA.com, otherwise I wouldn't believe its validity.
Yeah, no, that would be no chance I was ever guessing that. Good for you, Jordan Poole.
Good show. What do we got? Wemby makes his debut Friday.
Yeah.
Summer League, it's sold out.
Pretty cool. I'm excited to watch it, honestly. I think it'll be a lot of fun. If not anything else, I think it'll be fun to watch him play.
It'll be an event.
Yeah. Good episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week.
Make sure to like and subscribe to 528 Collectibles and the Breaks Down podcast. You can find both on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, not Facebook for both.
We're not on Facebook. 528's on Facebook. Follow us on all platforms and 528 on all platforms. Thank you.
Go Yankees.